Good morning, happy Thursday, it's Lexi, and I just want to share with you a little bit of the astrology around the full moon in Virgo for Saturday, and also really feeling into the energies of this full moon. So when we start to look at Virgo as a sign, particularly in goddess astrology, and particularly in when we start to look at how she can influence our ascension process as well, Virgo is the healer. She is the ultimate priestess. She is the one who lives her life in devotion, in service, in sacred rituals. She is the one who is sovereign only unto herself, and she reclaims the word virgin. She reclaims the word virgin from meaning purification, of being a woman who is pure, who hasn't been touched by human hand. She reclaims that word and stands in her sovereignty and says, no, this is my body. And in the archetype of the Virgin, I am sovereign within my own body. I am someone who makes my own choices. So it's a real swip round of the meaning of Virgin. But she, for me, is deeply linked to purification. And the energy that's really coming through for this full moon is an energy of purification. So I'm back inside recording because at the moment, it's absolutely hammering it down. I got set up on my step and I've had to come back in again because it is absolutely hammering it down, because the rain for me is all about purification. There is no coincidence that as we're coming into this full moon, as we're coming into a place where we are preparing for spring equinox, this is the final full moon before the spring equinox. So we're really feeling the need to clear out, we're really feeling the need to purify. For me, the rain comes in and purifies the land for us. But if you're feeling this kind of energy of purification, so I'm recording this on Thursday, and this has been coming through for me since about Monday, this real need to detoxify our mind, our body, our soul, to really feel that we might need to clear our physical space. So that could be doing a little bit of early spring cleaning on Saturday to kind of prepare. And it could mean that you're really wanting to detox your physical body as well. And you might be doing this by juicing, you might be fasting, you might just decide not to drink coffee for a few days. You may decide that actually you might just forgo that glass of wine on Friday evening. It may be that you want to go out for a run, you want to really push yourself in the gym. That detoxification could just be doing some gentle yoga. It's whatever's starting to appeal to you, to your physical body, but also to what energy is coming into your light body, your etheric body. So when I was really tuning in, our light bodies at the moment are being really, really hammered. We're still absorbing huge amounts of energy and integrating it. It's this constant cycle of energy upgrade, integrate, energy upgrade, integrate. And the two is just starting to overlap at the moment. So we may be physically tired. We may feel mentally drained. We may be so thirsty at the moment as well. I know I've said this before, but I'm drinking water like it's going out of fashion at the moment. So you might even feel the need to have a little bit of a digital detox over the next few days. As this energy of the full moon comes in, it's almost this want to shut out the outside world, to clear your space physically, mentally, emotionally, so that you can hit that spring equinox really feeling good, knowing you've got firm foundations, knowing and really being aware of what you don't want to carry into the next cycle, the next turn of the wheel. And Virgo for me is an energy that is deeply related to Magdalene, to Mary Magdalene. And she has been coming through incredibly strongly for the past few weeks. But for me, as we come round to this moon in Virgo, she is kind of walking by our sides, bringing through her energy as the ultimate priestess, as the ultimate woman who was the virgin, who, depending on what you believe, was the feminine counterpart to Yeshua. Her energy is coming through strongly to remind us all to step into our innate feminine power, in our innate wisdom. Whether you're male, whether you're female, is to really connect into that deep lineage. And for those of us who work with Magdalene, for those of us who are interested in the Essenes, it's this real need to tune back into what we remember and reawaken all the magic that we've had inside us to reawaken the gnosis, the knowledge that we have kept hidden for so many lifetimes. And I really feel that we're being asked to slow down, to really tune in, to really access a lot of deep hidden knowledge within our DNA at the moment. So if you're feeling the call of Magdalene over the weekend, it's really linked to this full moon, but she's calling you back to remember. And we can't talk about a full moon without talking about the shadow, the things that we might see during this full moon. So Virgo, beautiful sign, but Virgo can have a shadow side which can really affect us quite deeply. And I often see this. I have very few placements in Virgo, if any, actually. It's a very empty part of the year. But I noticed the Virgoan energy coming up. And it's about being anxious, having a lot of anxiety over what we're doing, about being overly critical, about being obsessed with the details, micromanaging constantly. And I often see this play out in a little bit of lightworker anxiety. Am I doing the right thing? I really should be working harder to do this. I am in this place of self-criticism because I'm not ascending on my path quick enough. I don't understand what someone is teaching, so I'm going to criticize myself as not being clever enough to understand it. Maybe actually it's not the information you need at this moment in time. Maybe actually that information is going to make sense in 10 years time. Maybe it's just not information that your soul is resonating with. But then there can be this real obsession with the details, the need to micromanage, the fear of not being able to trust anybody else to do a task for you. So really watch this over the weekend. It's kind of coming into lightworker anxiety, seems to be something that's really coming into my energy at the moment, particularly with clients, this need for self-flagellation where we're constantly on the go, we're constantly having to strive to do something. But what we're not recognizing is that we are already doing so much more than was planned for us. We're doing so much more, we're so far ahead. You know, we have teams of light cheering us on, going, you've worked really hard. And it's okay now to take a rest. It's okay to take 24, 48 hours out of this cycle, because actually you need to rest, you need to regenerate, you need to rejuvenate. So what I'm going to really encourage you to do at this Virgo full moon is just check in. So if Virgo is the ultimate priestess, she lives in a life of service, devotion, and a certain place of ritual. Just check in with your spiritual self-care. So where is your spiritual practice at? What needs tidying up? Are you going all guns blazing but it's not really working for you? Does something need tweaking? Do you need to add in additional structure? Do you need to add in extra discipline? So really think about this. So I work with the moon, I work with the cycles of the planets, the cycles of the season, and the last Virgo new moon, I set the intention that I would recreate a new practice for myself every morning. And I have stuck with that since that Virgo new moon, of getting up, of having a ritual, of lighting my candles, of pulling my cards, of doing my gratitude, of doing my channels writing. And that is something that's a non-negotiable spiritual practice for me. So I set that up at the new moon, in Virgo. It's really worked for me. So can you harness the power of this full moon to have a bit of a spiritual practice audit? Can you really hone it down into something that really works for you, that really works for your lifestyle, but also keeps you in a space where you are constantly acting from your heart, you're bringing it into every day? Can you bring in that ritual and devotion into every act that you do? So with Sol, our sun being in Pisces as well, it's a bit watery, it's a bit flowing. I've never known such a wet Pisces season. Very English to talk about the weather, but it's very wet Pisces season. And we have to remember that with Sol and Pisces, we often forget about our boundaries. We are not particularly discerning, we kind of flow with it. It's watery, you know, we're going with it, we're doing whatever kind of suits us, but we're not putting in strong boundaries. So it's going to be that little bit of Virgoan discipline coming in. So check around your spiritual practice. What is discernment? Are you being discerning enough with the people that you hang around with, what you're reading? Are you being discerning enough with your social media? What are your healthy boundaries? So Pisces can wash away our boundaries. Virgo comes in to remind us to have some really super strong boundaries. And where do you need a little bit of extra discipline in your life to allow you to move forward? So I have a challenge for you under this Virgo full moon. So Virgo for me usually is about going to spring clean the whole house. So I'm going to do that on Friday, and I'm leaving my Saturday free for me. And the reason I am doing that is because I felt that light worker anxiety come up, that I am not doing enough, I'm not enough, I need to keep going, I need to keep going. And my guides for a very long time have been saying, whoa, Lexi, just slow down and enjoy the ride. It's not about the final destination, it's about what we're learning as we get there. So it might not be practical for you. You maybe only have half an hour, you might only have an hour or an afternoon. But I'm going to set you a full moon challenge to join me on Saturday. And that is to have a day, an afternoon, an hour, I don't care what it looks like, of self-care. To slow down, to have some real sacred time with your heart, with your soul, sacred time with your guides, time to really look after yourself, to detoxify. So what I'm going to do tomorrow, I'm going to go shopping, and I'm going to be really girly, and I'm going to get myself a face mask. I'm going to get myself like a foot soak. I'm going to get myself some Epsom salts baths. I am going to work out some journaling questions that I want to ask, and I'm going to post some of those on Saturday. And I am going to create a day for myself. So it's going to start with a dog walk. It's going to come back, and I'm going to have a really yummy breakfast. So it'll probably be a lot of fruit, a lot of avocado. And then I'm going to do a little bit of yoga, a bit of stretching. And then I might read a book, and then I'm going to have some lunch, and then in the afternoon we're going to do another beautiful long dog walk, because that for me is deeply nourishing. It's where I connect with my guides. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to do the girly thing of pouring myself a drink, of having a face mask, of getting in the bath, soaking in Epsom salts, and really slowing down. Then I'm going to get my journal and cacao, and I'm just going to sit, and I'm going to use some journaling prompts which I'll share on Saturday, and I'm going to journal, and I'm going to let it all flow. So that's kind of a rough basis of my day. Pick any of those that you want to choose, or choose something else. But the one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put my phone away and have a full digital detox. So no laptop, no phone, books, candles, music, everything that makes my heart sing that doesn't involve me looking at a screen. So that is going to be my full moon challenge to myself. I'd invite you to join me. I'd invite you to tell me one act of sacred self-care in the comments that you are going to do on Saturday or Sunday if you've got kids and it's not going to work for you on Saturday. And I'm going to invite you to slow down. I'm going to invite you to reflect on your spiritual practice, and I'm going to invite you to reflect on your self-care and use this full moon to release all that no longer serves you before we go into that spring equinox and the turn of the silver wheel once again into the new astrological year. So I'm sending you so much love. A quick reminder, on the 16th there is a Soul Ascension Spring Equinox workshop, which I'm super excited about. All the details are in my bio. So wishing you the most beautiful full moon. Make sure you're taking time for yourself. So much love. Take care.